Hello everyone, welcome back to my course on enhancing soft skills and personality. This is the second week of the course and this is the first unit of second week and totally this is the sixth lesson. In the past week I started discussing with you at the beginning by giving a brief summary of the previous course on developing soft skills and personality, and then I focused on the most important aspect of developing your soft skills as well as personality and enhancing them, that is about your mindset. We spent about three lessons on mindset. Now before I start this one, I will actually start with a brief summary of what we did in the last lesson, but what is this week going to do and what is it that I am going to introduce to you this week. This week we are going to start with a very interesting and an important aspect of enhancing your soft skills and personality, that is about managing time. Time, you need to know how you perceive it, how you try to handle it. So we begin with trying to understand the perceptions as well as the importance of time. Okay. And as I said, before I start actually going to the lesson, let me give you a brief highlight of the last lesson. In the last lesson on mindset, I discussed about the secrets of developing growth mindset. I focused on basically 5 important aspects of developing your growth mindset. The first one, I said that you should train yourself to behave, act like a baby, because as babies we naturally had growth mindsets. So when we were growing, we actually did not develop fixed mindset, but the fixity came by internalizing others' views on us. Most of the views which were influencing our thinking and made our mindset fixed were mostly negative. Things which were trying to tell you that because of your father's occupation, because of your parents' profession, because of their genes, your hereditary nature, you cannot do certain things. Okay. So that actually has been proved variously by lot of psychological experiments that it is totally incorrect. That has actually come out of people and their own insecurity and their own doubts and apprehensions which they try to impose on you, which you got influenced. It's high time that you come out of it and then you try to behave like a baby, keep your mind open, be motivated all the time to explore new things. As a baby, the baby was never afraid of touching a fire or getting drenched in rain. Nobody was there to inject in the mind of the baby that if you will get drenched in rain, so you will catch cold. If you touch the fire, it will scorch your finger. So baby was not really afraid of it, but it learnt certain lessons from that. So try to explore, be like a baby, don't be influenced by what others tell on you. The second point I emphasized was you should learn to live with critical people. It's human tendency to always to live with people who flatter us, who love us unconditionally, and then who support us come what may. Even if you are wrong, even if you are illegal, even if you are incompetent, people try to appreciate us because of maybe certain things. Maybe they are associated with us in terms of job, in terms of blood relation, in terms of even affinity, in terms of community, in terms of region, whatever it is. But then these people have a feeling that they should always appreciate you and they should never point a single finger on you, so that you are always feeling happy. But these are the people who are dangerous because they are not going to make us grow, or they are not going to contribute to our growth mindset. We need partners who are critical, whether it is your life partner or your business partner or your friend or your classmate. Choose somebody who will be critical, and if you get a friend who is both, who can appreciate as well as be critical, so you have a very ideal combination, so that you get flattered when you are doing good things, but then you are also being criticized when you are not doing the right thing, and then you try to develop your mindset accordingly. The next point I emphasized was do not believe in negative stereotypes, such as telling you that your ability is not coming because of your intelligence. Your intelligence cannot be grown. your ability is coming based on your gender, based on your background, so which cannot be grown. So, do not believe these negative stereotypes, do not be vulnerable to stereotype threats, a psychological term that actually when we understand a kind of stereotype that is being imposed on us by our surrounding people. So, we try to internalize and we try to underperform. So, succumbing to stereotype threat can undermine one's ability to perform. So, one should not succumb to stereotype threat. The next point that was again illustrated through various experiments conducted in psychology is that you should try to belong where you need to be, because a sense of belonging is something that will remove all kind of negative threat that could be influencing your mindset. So, you try to belong and you try to belong in the right place, be where you need to be. And I also ended by saying that you should remember Hawthorne effect. Hawthorne effect, that was indicating the kind of effect that proved that it is not money, it is not even incentives, it is not even the lighting condition, the working condition, but it is purely the emotional feeling, the sense of bonding, the feeling of having chosen as a privileged group that could actually motivate women folk to work like anything despite of all varying conditions. So, that only proved that if you have positive emotion and then this sense of belonging and group binding, so you will be able to work wonders. So, that is why I said that with all these aspects of developing growth mindset, try to put yourself in the right group and then try to belong to the group by contributing yourself appropriately and rightly. Having said this, let us come to another interesting aspect of developing your personality, that is to do with time. Now, the way you handle time, the way you deal with time and the way people perceive you as how you are dealing with your time, what you are doing with it. So, that is somewhat trying to tell us as how your personality can be assessed and how good you are in terms of using your soft skills. Now, there are some questions which appear to be simple, but they are very difficult to answer. What is time? It is a very philosophical, psychological and even technical question to answer. And how do you perceive time? Okay. Now, normally when we say time, we know that we look at our watch, we look at the clock and then we just look at the figures which are there, we look at the duration, we look at the frequency, we look at the amount of time that we are giving to an event, and then we look at the calendar and we know, oh, this is time. But then, is time constrained by a clock or a watch, or is it something that exists only in our mind? When we talk about time and when we talk about a time that is trying to determine your personality, are we talking about a time that you just follow, adhere to strictly, or are we trying to understand that there is something inside your mind that is perceiving what is shown outside externally in the form of time in its own way? It has a unique way of perceiving it. And then what is time in general? Is it something fixed or is it something flexible? Salvador Dali, the most famous surrealist painter, and his most famous painting called The Persistence of Memory, which anytime when you refer to Dali, you will be seeing this painting, and this is popularly known as clocks. Now, that is considered a surrealist masterpiece because that depicts melting clocks. What was Dali trying to tell in his own irrational, surrealistic manner? What was he trying to talk about time? Is he trying to say that the way you look at time in a fixed manner, like a routine, chore, rut, is he making fun that that's not actually time? Time is something that is very flexible, malleable. Okay. It looks as if he is just washed time like a cloth and then just he is hanging on the branch and then it is just drying up. Can you do it like that? So, in the picture again if you see, the clocks are not flat but bent out of shape and are melting in a desert. So many interpretations are possible. At the end I have given one interesting link where you can just understand this picture and the meaning in a simple manner. But what he has done, he has tried to capture the relative and fickle nature of time. Some people said that he was even trying to picturize what Einstein was talking in terms of relativity of time in a very picturesque manner, surrealistic manner. But to me, it appears that the desert is indicating the kind of barrenness that surrounds our life in terms of value and meaning, unless you make use of time in a very flexible and efficient manner. And keeping in your mind that we are always living with this sense of corrosion, with this sense that time is always eroding, time is always trying to slip through our fingers. Okay. Let us come back to this thought towards the end. But coming to in a very practical management sense of using time and in terms of developing your personality, enhancing your soft skills, let us see how do people perceive your personality in terms of time. Do they see you as someone who is always late? So, even you tell that you will come in time, you will come before time for a function, for an important event, they laugh behind you and say, oh, this guy never shows up in time. Okay. How to believe? Okay. Do they see you as someone who cannot deliver in time? Are you the person who is known for forgetting appointments? Do you keep your work piled up? And are you known for always postponing your work? And do you always have lot of backlog work to do? You are always in arrears to do things, you are always catching up, you are always not able to take up a new task, you always take up something when it is almost late or almost the deadline is over. Is it how your people around you are perceiving you? Or do people see you as someone who is always punctual? Do people wonder how do you reach a place before time, in time, but never exceeding the time? Even you happen to be always the first one to reach the venue, and people wonder how is that possible, despite the fact that you have a very hectic schedule. And are you the person who is known for delivering before time? You are the one who under promises but try to over deliver and before time? And are you known for never missing an appointment? And are you the person who finishes work in time and always plans ahead of time? And are you the person who also give contingency for new and challenging tasks? Because you have always finished your work in time and you have ample time to start something new when there are others who are struggling with jobs assigned to them previous year, 5 years before, and they are not able to complete. You have just completed and you are just free. Now, your attitude towards time reflects on your personality. Now, the way you are functioning has much to do with the attitude that you have towards time. Whatever soft skills you will develop will be of help only if they are integrated with the disciplined sense of use of time. So, I have been telling in the previous course as well as at the outset of this course that my approach to soft skills will not be giving a cosmetic touch. Okay. It is not like something that you do as lip service as an external one. To me, changing your inside amounts to changing your outside, and your outside is an indicator of inside, and unless you change that inside perceptions, attitudes towards time particularly, and mindset, as I said before, developing a growth mindset. So, your soft skills, whatever you develop, will actually disprove what you actually have inside. In the sense, so you may talk very softly, very nicely, very politely, very impressively, saying that you will finish a task in time. But behind people laugh at you saying that you say this hundreds of times and you are never able to finish it in time. So, soft skills will have no meaning when people try to correlate your skills and try to integrate that with the meaning that you give to the tasks that you have been assigned to in terms of time. So, keep that in mind. And how do you act when you run out of time? This is another important thing. Like so far I said, how do you plan your time, how do you execute it, do you do things in time. But when you run out of time, both cases, whether you planned or indulged in an unplanned activity, but you are just running out of time. Are you cool, calm and collected, or are you stressed, distressed and depressed because you are running out of time and you are not able to catch up, and then people think bad of you, you feel humiliated, you feel that you are losing your confidence and all that. How do you react when you chase a deadline? So, do you panic so much that are you afraid that you are not able to meet a deadline? Do you sweat a lot? Is your blood pressure rising high? How do you behave when you work under time pressure, when you have to beat deadline? How do you behave with people around you? Do you get annoyed? Do you get irritated? Do you shout at people for no valid reason? Do you become totally unapproachable when you are under time pressure and people are afraid of coming to your chamber or talking to you? Understand that time indeed is money, okay, and time indeed is something that is trying to tell us what is your personality. Your success and happiness both depend much on the way you handle time. Time, I would rather say, instead of saying it's money, it's your life itself. When you lose control of time, your life too goes out of control. And then this is again interesting, the way we see how people try to control time. Some people need calendar, planner, reminder, both manual. Today there is lot of electronic reminders. You can set reminders on your computer, on your gadgets, mobile phone and all that to keep track of time. And some use it efficiently, some despite that they are not able to do that. And there are others who function efficiently even without any reminders. So, what is it that is making people not to function efficiently and some to function efficiently? Some people become tensed when their plan gets interrupted or time gets hijacked by unplanned activities, unplanned events. So, you plan to do something and suddenly some untoward thing happen. Okay, even an accident, even a fracture, okay, so that can jeopardize so many of your plans. So, such unplanned events can also put lot of pressure and stress. People have either monochronic or polychronic sense of time. Now, this concept has been already discussed previously little bit, but once again if you recollect, monochronic indicates a single minded perception of time, okay, which is rather fixed. Time is seen as a kind of rare commodity, so it has to be rationed. So, people who have this monochronic sense of time, they go by a very fixed rigid schedule. So, they proportionately divide their life career in terms of time schedule and they follow the schedule strictly. People with polychronic sense of time view time as something that is flexible, and then they are normally not that much annoyed when there are interruptions. In fact, they welcome interruptions, some of them. And when you look at how these people behave, sometimes they slightly miss deadline, but then they are also able to do justice to many activities at the same time. Most of the Western culture tries to inculcate a monochronic sense of time, where time is a rare commodity, time is money. So, the Eastern, our Indian culture tries to inculcate a polychronic sense of time. But today even this kind of separation is not becoming very valid because We are all living in a kind of globalized world, and then this thanks to multinational corporations, culture has become somewhat flattened, and then you cannot say that your culture is different, your sense of perception is different. More or less MNCs try to inculcate this monochronic sense of time, which means you have to reach the office in time. If you miss it, so some offices keep punch card or they note the time, and then they know that if you are late for 3 days, so 1 day's casual leave can be cut and so on. So time itself is rationed, and your reward or punishment depends on that, your assessment depends on that. So you understand that we have this monochronic or polychronic sense of time. So monochronic scheduling and then working according to the schedule, polychronic letting interruptions come on its way, but then still you make your schedule flexible and try to finish it. Now, let us come to another important part of this lesson. How to control time. Okay, what should you do to control your time? Because I said that controlling life itself means controlling time. Three important things you can do. The first most important thing is take log of your time. What do I mean by taking log of your time? Take note of your time. See how your time is slipping through your fingers. How are you spending or wasting your time? Even when you are wasting your time, sometimes you don't even realize that you are not spending your time in a fruitful, productive manner. You don't even know that you are actually wasting. So, how time is just actually hijacking your productive aspect of your life. So, what can you do either in a diary or in a planner, either using your computer or in your mobile? There are so many apps also these days. Just note the way you are spending your time in a day. In a day, you just see what time you are getting up, what are you doing after you get up, how much time you spend, for example, in coffee or reading a newspaper or just checking up your WhatsApp and Facebook updates, or sitting before computer, or just even in spending good activities like walking or jogging or doing exercise. How much time you spend in just bathing, how much time you spend in eating, how much time you spend in sleeping, how much time are you devoting for studies, how much time are you devoting in the day to day activities like commuting. Okay. Now, make note of all these things and then try to see how you do it on each day, and then identify a week, look at a month, and then you will see that certain Sundays have the same pattern, Saturdays have the same pattern, Mondays have a similar pattern. Look at the entire log for a period of a year, and then look at for a period of your life, like when you are at a lower position, how are you spending your time, and when you are promoted, how are you spending your time. When you are studying at a lower grade, how did you give time for studies, and what are you doing now. Now, what can this exercise do to you? It can help you develop a sense of the way you are using your time, and thereby you will be able to manipulate how you can control it. Particularly, you should be able to see how time is getting wasted. It looks like you just wanted to check one meaning on Google, and then you sat before that. So, that meaning you read from Wikipedia, and then from Wikipedia there are some references you went, and then there was a YouTube link, and then you checked that, and from that link there were other links, and then it was saying that people who watched, they watched this also, you wanted to watch that, and then it was saying or referring to a book, and you wanted to read the review of that. You just started with the word, and then it was, let us say, around 8 o'clock, and you end up around 3 a.m. And then you realize that time just went just like that, and then it looks like, okay, you learned something, but then was the learning in a very productive and planned manner? Could this learning be avoided? Okay, this learning was just gathering information. Was it giving you knowledge and wisdom? Okay. These are things that you have to ask, and then you have to decide that okay, this time I will spend only for this. So, the second one, the second point that I make here will also help you to control your time, that is you should scrutinize the time leakage, how it is getting leaked, particularly find out where you waste your time in unproductive activities. Now, learn to minimize them initially. It is very difficult to stop it, okay, initially. But once you think that okay, I will minimize, so you decide that next time when I look up a word in online dictionary, I will stop with the meaning itself, or at least if I go beyond that and then look at one article from Wikipedia, I will just stop there, or at least I will decide for this word maximum I will give 10 minutes or 15 minutes, not more than that, not 5 hours at a stretch. Okay. So, once you are able to minimize that, very soon you will be able to eliminate such wasteful activities also. The next important way of controlling your time is in terms of creating time. Okay. So, once you are able to remove time spent on unnecessary activities, you will be able to make time, create time, especially for creative and productive activities that will uplift your life and career, that will actually develop and enhance your personality. Even read a personality development book, watch videos. There are hundreds of good videos that can actually motivate you, make you do lot of creative things. So, try to give some time for that also. That is what I mean by creating time. So, by controlling time, first take log of your time, check how you are wasting your time and check how you are spending your time productively, and second stage, minimize the time that you are wasting on unproductive activities, and third stage, use that for creating time for creative activities and productive activities. Now, look at other aspect of time. Why is it some people do more things in less time and much more efficiently than others? And what are the secrets of successful entrepreneurs, billionaires? I remember an interview in which one of the successful entrepreneurs was asked this question: how do you manage when all of us have 24 hours to accomplish so much? So, to which he said, when you try to do one task in a time that you think you can do it, I try to ensure that I do at least 10 tasks in the same time you would have done only one task. So, that is the focus, that is how he does things in optimizing the peak time in which he can do or give his best performance. So, it is about how he manages his time efficiently than others. I am coming to this point as how you can also do that in the next slide. But before that, do you know that the job that you struggle to accomplish, most of the times you say that, oh, it is a very difficult thing, only I am trying to do it with lot of efforts, I am working so hard. So, that job, whatever job it may be, can be done 10 times better than at least by 10 other people in the world. So, whatever we think that we are doing to our best with lot of hard work, we should always understand that it can be done 10 times better than us in the world. Okay. There are always examples to prove that, and you should keep that in mind. So, you should not let your mind bogged down by the thinking that okay, I am spending more time, I am working, and then I am doing this in this time. It is not like that. Maybe you are doing in a way that you are actually working hard but not smart. How can you work smart? Now, look at this point: by synchronizing the real clock with your biological clock. Okay. Now, we all carry within us our biological clock that is based on the time, lunar cycle, season or year, which is also responsible for our psychological clock or mindset. Now, this biological clock, okay, acts sometimes in a different manner, uniquely depending on the body depending on the physique and nature of human being living in different environment. Okay. Each minute, for example, our heart beats 70 times on an average. Our moods and alertness and appetites follow a regular pattern. So, some people get hungry even early around 6:30 in the morning, and some people do not feel hungry even around 11:30 in the morning. So, some people finish their dinner at 5:30 in the evening, some people even go till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock late night, or till eat early the next day morning. Circadian rhythm or biological time may slightly vary depending on individuals and their environments. Okay. So, meaning my time of getting up early may not match with your time of getting up early, because your body may tune yourself and your brain and cause its alertness at a time that may not matching up with my own time. So, rising early, working late night, or taking nap in the afternoon. So, all are depending on your circadian rhythm. What you need to do is that you need to identify the peak time when you are most energetic and active. Some people by nature they are early risers, and then they are able to do very well early in the morning. Okay. They accomplish so much by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then their energy starts declining. There are others who start slowly, but then by the time afternoon, evening comes, they start working very actively. So, identify which part of the day you feel your mind is very alert, okay, and then you are very active and energetic and enthusiastic. Normally, people say that our motivations decline in the evening, okay, and then it is like very weak at night, and then when we get up early in the morning, we are very fresh, we are active, just even going out in the sun, it is sort of motivating us. But as I said, this is the normal thinking, but depending on your circadian rhythm, your peak period may be different. Look at the famous author, novelist Salman Rushdie. He says that in an interview that as soon as he gets up in the morning, he just rushes and then starts writing the novel. Even without brushing his teeth or taking bath, he just continues with the rhythm, the energy that mind is uh, trying to be very active, and then is able to use that energy, that he is able to get it early in the morning. Whereas, if you look at a musician like A.R. Rahman, he says that night is the peak time for him. So, he does not want any kind of disturbance, and most of his masterpieces are all composed around 3 a.m., 4 a.m., like late night or early morning, when he just works without any disturbance. So, you can see there are examples of geniuses working either in morning or night or evening, afternoon and all that, but it is important for you to decide which time you will be able to give your peak performance and identify that time. The previous exercise for logging your time will help you to identify that peak time, and that peak time. So, you should not be disturbed by anybody, even if you need to hide and then do your work in a place where nobody can disturb you. So, find a place, an uninterrupted place, be there and then start doing that work, and then do not let that peak time slip away through your fingers. Now, let me conclude this lecture with two timely quotes, one from Haruki Murakami, quote unquote. He says, "Unfortunately, the clock is ticking, the hours are going by, the past increases, the future recedes, possibilities decreasing, regrets mounting." As we age, as we grow, we realize that we thought of so many things, we wanted to do so much, but then we end up regretting that we didn't do, we didn't even try that. So, that is what he says, when the clock keeps ticking, our regrets also keep mounting. But in association with this thought, look at the quote from Arnold H. Glasso. He says that success is simple, do what is right, the right way at the right time. And I would like to conclude with the thought that if you are able to do what is right at the right time in the right way, that is, having identified your peak time, you are doing the most important productive work that will enhance your personality in the right way possible. Success will follow you, it will chase you, okay, and you will live a life of no regret. So, that is the most important way of defining success, that if you are able to live a life without a deep sense of regret, we can say that your life is by and large successful. So, wishing you that kind of success after doing this course, while doing this course, and thank you for watching this video. Before I conclude, for further reference, if you want to know more about time and the philosophical way of looking at time, look at the book on introducing time. It is written in a graphical manner, and then the online link to Salvador Dali's paintings on clocks and the meaning is discussed interestingly in the link that I have given. But there is also another book by Kenneth Ziegler, where some tips are given in terms of time as well as overall in terms of getting organized at work. So, that will also help you to know more about time management. Thank you once again for watching this video. We will get back in the next lesson soon.